Right now at 11, James Madison University's football team is about to get some national attention next weekend. There's big news in the Valley creating all sorts of buzz. ESPN announced today that College Game Day is coming to James Madison this week.
There are two top 12 teams undefeated in conference play.
Fans waited until this morning to hear ESPN say, Harrisonburg, we're coming to your city.
Be like the most exciting game that we've had for sure.
Extremely excited, yelled down the hall. I was home when I found out, but I already had my tickets.
For the first time ever, college football's biggest pregame show is heading to the Valley.
Here is an idea of some of the madness that is about to come to JMU's campus.
Game day don't come here if they don't have two really good teams.
Since the announcement, the excitement is picking up, you can tell.
It was a viral effort trying to bring ESPN's huge pregame show to the Valley.
I feel like we definitely got the word out there that they would not be disappointed if they came here, that they would definitely find great support.
And then one thing led to another, and teams kept losing, and upsets were happening, and teams had a few losses, and stars aligned, and it was the perfect storm, and next thing you know, here we are.
We continue our countdown to game day with a look at how Harrisonburg city leaders are preparing for what's expected to be huge crowds.
But the impact of game day will go beyond campus. In a national spotlight on ESPN is all a recipe for big business.
ESPN Game Day goes far beyond this weekend.
Continuing our team coverage, WHSV's Christina Edney has a look at where you can still buy tickets, even though they're already sold out.
Now here is a look at StubHub, where the cheapest tickets are going for right at $80 and club seats for up to $500 each.
College Game Day will originate from the quad in front of Wilson Hall.
Our front porch better be nice and clean and tidy. This is a chance for our JMU community to show off JMU.
Continuing our coverage of the countdown to game day, just 4 days away.
I am standing where the ESPN Game Day set will be right here on the quad.
When our director came down on Monday and looked at the location on the quad, he said, I have no changes to make. He goes, this is the picture perfect spot for us.
More about how law enforcement agencies from around the Valley will be keeping fans safe this weekend.
It's a little bit different than graduation or a football game, and we'll be ready for it.
Right now, by the way, ESPN's College Game Day crews, they are on campus at JMU. We've been talking about it for days now.
You can see behind me, crews are already starting to set up.
Crews won't start setting up until tomorrow, and that's when students can also look forward to the arrival of the College Game Day bus on campus.
See the cameras and the huge video boards where fans will be able to watch the show as it progresses on Saturday morning.
We want to continue our team coverage now with WHSV's Isabel Rosales joining us live from the quad.
And I can hear your stomach rumbling from all the way over here, so let me make things worse for you. You're looking at a monstrous 28-inch pizza. They expect to use around 300 pounds of dough over homecoming weekend.
Probably expecting one of our biggest days that we've had yet.
This is the first time Benny's Pizza has turned Duke purple.
Valley businesses are prepared to handle the crowds and those who can't make it to the actual game.
We're excited for the community. Thousands of people coming to campus will need something to eat.
At the big game tomorrow, dining officials tell me they plan to serve 15,000 cups of hot chocolate and 10,000 hot dogs.
JMU Dining has been preparing all week.
Having the ESPN Game Day just really adds to that, national recognition and excitement.
Hotels here in Harrisonburg are booked. October is her busiest month, and it got busier when Game Day announced they would come to JMU.
So waking up tomorrow morning, temperatures upper 40s if you're heading out to the festivities.
Pack your patience. Traffic could be an issue tomorrow with College Game Day.
The city shuttles will start rolling for fans at 8:30 Saturday morning.
And we do have maps and breakdowns of shuttle schedules with this story. You can find it now and make plans using your smartphone, tablet, or computer. Samantha Ponder has a pretty good idea of what a visit from ESPN means to an FCS school, and she knows how important a week like this is to a school like JMU.
People can compare places like Florida State or Alabama to JMU all they want. If they really want to go all out in terms of signs and enthusiasm and all that and embrace the College Game Day environment, they can make it as crazy as they want.
Well, College Game Day's visit to the Valley is being heralded as one of the greatest moments in James Madison's football history. So that got us thinking,
What are the greatest moments? We compiled our top 3. And in at number 1, the highlight of Mickey Matthews' era came in his 6th season when James Madison won the Division I AA championship. Add Game Day to the mix, and even one of the most focused teams in the country can't ignore the energy.
When you walk into class, you hear everybody talking about college game day.
Meanwhile, Richmond is treating this game as a business trip.
We look forward to the challenge. This game has become somewhat of an event.
Well, when game day comes to town, the nation won't just get a look at a pair of in-state opponents. The spotlight will shine bright on the entire Colonial Athletic Association.
As the preparations continue here on the quad for College Game Day, you can't help but think about where the Dukes were a couple years ago, with the arrival of College Game Day being the most visual proof of progress.
Well, it validates our hire from last year. I mean, it validates hiring Everett Withers was the right decision.
You give people some national exposure that they've earned, they deserve.
I think it's an interesting matchup because it's a contrast in styles.
Tonight, there's a Purple Out pep rally, and WHSV's Katie Kaler has been out and about on JMU's campus all day.
I think excitement at this point might be a little bit of an understatement.
We are maxing out the meter tonight. Everyone is so pumped and just ready for everything.
Oh, it's going to be big. Thousands of students gathered in Bridgeport Stadium last night for the 13th annual Purple Out.
The adrenaline rush is like no other.
Devin Turk caught up with the JMU Marching Royal Dukes earlier today.
Being on campus today, you can't help but feel the excitement.
Fifth-year senior Emma Langford says she's never seen anything like it.
I'm super excited to be on TV. That's the coolest thing.
The Game Day bus will arrive on campus today.
And our sports director, Dave DeGuzman, begins our team coverage of our countdown to Game Day.
John, Carolyn, I don't know what you're talking about. This looks like just like any other quad on the campuses in America.
And I know we're going to get a great student turnout.
Carolyn, you can call this the opening ceremony to all the festivities that will take place this weekend. Behind me, fans eagerly and anticipating the Game Day bus that is set to arrive. I can see it through the trees and the bushes. It's just kind of standing there.
The Game Day bus rolled up to JMU's campus around 5:30 or so.
We've been covering JMU Game Day all week. We've had purple pizzas, we've had dog biscuits, we've had anything you could think of. And finally, it's happening. Look, the bus is here. We're getting excited. I'm telling you, these kids are excited. I hope you guys are too.
Of course, that's what happens when you show up in Harrisonburg, Virginia.
The spotlight is starting to shine on James Madison University.
WHSV's Avery Powell is out at the JMU Quad right now, where students have already started lining up to get in tomorrow.
Here with me right now is Brian Anderson. He's been here since 6 a.m.
And that was the sound of the excited JMU students waiting tonight to get into the pit.
A recent JMU alum who's traveling more than 3,000 miles to make it to this weekend's game.
Yeah, I'm a diehard fan.
Margot got the idea to use a GoFundMe page to try and get some help raising money for the trip back. She ended up raising 900 euros, which is about $1,000.
I would do anything to be there.
One ESPN producer is about to see his dream come true.
It's sort of my two worlds colliding.
It's fitting that Lee Fitting returns to James Madison on homecoming weekend. Fitting says it hasn't hit him yet that he brought the longest-running college football pregame show to his alma mater.
No, it won't hit me until we're in the show or the show's over.
This is a mock-up of what tomorrow's stadium may look like, but you'll notice something in the sky, a plane flying a sign reading JMU fans ready for next level. A group of 8 current and former JMU students came up with this website to try and help.
UConn, ECU, Old Dominion, Marshall. Those are our peers. That's where we should be.
Game Day adding to a tradition for Dan and Alice Nardi, class of '79.
We're season ticket holders, so we're at every game. You know, this is where we spend our anniversaries in October.
New at 6, JMU put on a stage it has never seen before.
It is the only top 15 matchup in all of Division I.
It was a day to remember on the campus of JMU as 12,000 people packed the quad this morning.
This is one of the hidden gems in college football.
After nearly a week of preparations, the first ever College Game Day broadcast from the campus of James Madison University was underway.
You're probably used to seeing those signs and students from an outside perspective, but this is what it's like to be inside of the pit.
Let's go, Dukes!
I was here all through the night.
I was here last night around like midnight.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
In the midst of the hundreds of signs, students, and alumni, beyond the excitement today, what you could really feel was the pride.
It's just something that we should all be really proud of because it's a big thing for JMU.
Today was not your average day for JMU football, and it was not your average homecoming weekend either.
The homecoming is just that chance to come back home together and hang out and talk and just share in our lives.
A special weekend now with a college game day memory for all Dukes.
Margot Savage, a 2012 graduate, is a huge JMU sports fan.
It has been something I can't even describe. It's been unreal.
A dream come true for the show's producer, Lee Fitting, who graduated from James Madison in 1996.
Words can't describe what that scene was.
And then the most anticipated moment of the morning, Lee Corso walking out of Wilson Hall dressed as James Madison.
God bless the Dukes, and God bless the United States of America. Coach and I talked about it on Tuesday morning, and we walked through some ideas, and we were tweaking it all the way up until about 7 o'clock last night.
We're a big deal now. Being 7-0, undefeated, oh my goodness, we're going to remember this for ages.
The energy, the passion, enthusiasm.
Can't imagine a more intense, more in tune crowd than we had here. It's a beautiful setting.
Well, all that energy that started building earlier this week at the Quad found its way over here to Bridgeforth Stadium, where a record attendance of more than 26,000 people cheered on the JMU Duke.
Not the fairy tale ending that JMU wanted against in-state rival Richmond, with quarterback Vad Lee actually suffering a foot injury. First place on the line in the CAA, a sellout crowd as the Spiders looking to bite on homecoming. Kyle Laletta airs it deep. What can Brown do for you? Brian Brown. More than 200 yards receiving, this one going 79 yards. The Spiders leading 25-14. But Vad Lee, cool as the other side of the pillow, cashes in on the slanted Dom Taylor. Down, but not out, except Vad Lee was out, because after this catch by Brandon Ravenel on third down inside the red zone, Lee would limp off the field. We would find out he had a foot injury. He will be evaluated for that. Backup Brian Shore. In and into the end zone. The Spiders bite back with the dagger. Jacoby Green with his 5th touchdown of the night. Richmond handing JMU its first loss of the season, 59-49 the final.
We didn't play very well today. Next.
You know, despite that loss, I feel that the fans gained so much being part of game day.
Yeah, unforgettable day, no doubt.
As soon as the show went off the air today, crews from both JMU and from ESPN started cleaning up and tearing down. Members of JMU groundskeeping and housekeeping worked on collecting trash.
But after seeing the way this campus looked right here on that broadcast with ESPN, it's totally worth all the effort we put into it.
Well, it's back to business as usual this week. Yeah, Avery, just how much impact did College Game Day have on the Valley?
But all of those students coming in here meant some big business for area businesses. Lugwood said it was their busiest weekend out of their 7 years in operation. Even ESPN's Lee Corso stopped by for a burger.
The Dukes still riding the high of College Game Day's first ever visit to the Valley.
Those are what football Saturdays should look like. So it proves that we have the capacity to do whatever we want to do around here.